Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experiences, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Chris Zart, general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. All right.
Well, howdy.
Howdy. We're week 4, so this is episode 4.
Yeah, already flying by. Wedding season's getting started, and
here we go.
Things are moving fast.
Always on.
This has been easily, I compared to any other year, I've just wanted wedding season to start more than any other previous year. Usually it's like the nice thing in this area is that we do have a bit of an off season, and have a little bit of time to like recuperate. Like we're working super hard, especially fall time is definitely our busiest. Like September, October weddings are super busy. Usually around that time, I'm like, okay, like I definitely, get my weekends back, take a little breather. But as soon as they ended last year, I was just ready to get going again. Like yes. I did not want the year to end. And I'm just super happy that we're back into it now.
Yes, me too. When you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. It's right? So true. And let's talk about last weekend, that wedding. It was really interesting. So it was a wedding vendor, photographer in the area. Mm-hmm. She had some snafus with some previous DJs, and it was really, they just dropped the ball. Like they just were not listening to her, were not doing what she wanted. She just made it very easy on us to like deliver what she wanted. Mm-hmm. She was like, here's the things, here's the music, just do this and I'll be happy. And that's exactly how it went.
That is how it went, yeah. I mean, I feel like we tend to set an expectation for how a wedding day is going to go. Sometimes we're completely right. Sometimes we're completely wrong.
Yes.
Sometimes we meet in the middle and we're kind of right. This one was like, we were told what the plan was and that plan was executed. Yeah. So that was cool to see. All the music she gave us just worked well with their guests. And
she knew her family. She knew her friends. They really had a good time. Mm-hmm. And they made our jobs really easy, and it was like really easy to just make some people happy.
Absolutely. Weather was gorgeous that day too.
It was perfect. It was rainy, but no problem. It didn't really affect us at all. Super. They had a great team of planners too. We work with Jenny, and they had Spare Room Studios, and I think Unveiled Events did the flowers. There's a whole bunch of people involved in that. The photographer, everybody was great. Video. And so that's what was kind of like nice. Like I noticed, I made a note that like, it's awesome working with other pros. Mm-hmm. Like I just felt like sometimes you go to these things and I'm sure you'll relate and you're like, you can immediately tell the other vendors you're working with or one of them are like, they don't do this all the time. This is like a hobby. This is not their job.
Oh, I hired my uncle to take photos. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He's got it. He's got it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the equipment that gives them away. Sometimes it's just their demeanor or their stress level, the way that what they're bringing to add to what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. But this was not so. Everybody was really top of their game. Everybody was super chill and super easy. And there was a lot of moving parts. We had a lot of intros, a lot of speeches, a lot of for dances, but honestly, it went really, really smoothly.
Yeah.
Which was really encouraging, really fun. And we surprised them with the photo booth. I'm so glad we did that because they had this like absolute beautiful backdrop.
Kind of like selfie station area.
Yes. Yeah. And they had like a light up sign that said like till death, kind of like till death do us part kind of thing. And it was beautiful. I don't know if it was Spare Room did that one or who, but it was absolutely gorgeous. There's a ton of photos online about it. I'm so glad we did that. And it made me think like, I was really glad we did that. Like I wanted to do it immediately when I heard about this photographer's story and what she'd been through and her original DJ, they had supposed to have photo booth booked with it. And then they had to like book us because this DJ really dropped the ball and it was like 2 weeks before their wedding. And it's just like, what are we doing? So I just wanted to throw that in. I surprised her with it at the last second. I'm like, oh, hey, surprise photo booth. And I love doing that kind of thing because I do feel like it adds a lot of fun and excitement to the day. Mm-hmm. The guests used it a ton. I didn't get the capture amount on it. But there are so many things at your wedding day. There's going to be little snafus, little surprises that don't go your way. It rained, things that don't go well. But I like, as a vendor, to like find ways to like happy surprises. Like birthday cake or here's a surprise song that is dedicated to somebody special to you, or here's a photo booth for free that you didn't know you wanted, or here's lighting we threw in for free.
Yeah.
Those little things that, you didn't ask for, didn't want, or didn't know, but kind of a fun Surprise. Have you ever done anything like that? Or
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't one time that I brought the photo booth before just because I wasn't, and this is not like any diss on the couple. The couple told me we're not going to have much of a dance floor. Yeah. They're like, we know our crowd. We know that everyone's not really big dancers or anything. So I was like, well, at least a photo booth is something that you can do other than dancing. Because, you know, I mean, even when I'm at a wedding, I just went to my first wedding that I've ever been to as a guest. And I've been to 300 weddings, probably over that. So I wasn't on the dance floor much. I was like, oh, there's so much family here that I want to socialize with. I was focused more on the social, conversational aspect. But yeah, having that photo booth there just like was great. Guests had something else to do. And yeah, that was really nice.
I love that. It really does kind of add a lot. And I love, it also plays into kind of what is, you and I have kind of talked about this before, but our main goal is to make memories. Mm-hmm. Like we're using dance and music and kind of energy to get people to celebrate on this day and make a memory about the day they got married.
Right.
And so photo booth's great because you're capturing that, and they're very candid and they're silly, and sometimes you get some inappropriate stuff, but
right.
For the most part, it's really fun and it adds a lot. That's what I love about our photo booth, and I think it really does add that, and I love to kind of surprise people with it when I can.
Absolutely.
When it works, when it makes sense with everything equipment-wise we're bringing, and I'm really glad we did because they had an absolute backdrop.
It was great, beautiful. And I think it alleviates some pressure then, just because, you know, with what she had already gone through, like you were saying, with her past DJ and everything, and also going off of that, you know, she had this situation, like you said, things happen, like life happens. Yeah. You want this day to be perfect. Everybody will tell you, like, you know, there's all these decisions you have to make. There's all this stress and everything. What is something that couples can do that we could tell them now before they get married? What can you do to alleviate as much stress as possible? Whether it's like the decisions you're making in the planning process or just, you know, personally, what I'm thinking is just trust your vendors. Definitely. If you're really hyper-focused on what they're doing, you're going to end up working your wedding day instead of actually enjoying your wedding day.
Yes.
Leave the work to us. Yeah. Don't put it on you. That's the whole point of why you're hiring somebody. You know,
it should be.
That's what it should be for sure. But yeah, what would you say is a good way that a couple could work on, you know, removing those headaches that could possibly happen in the future?
I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying, that like hire pros. Mm-hmm. You know, if there's sometimes people are really good at stuff. Like I've had grooms and brides who were like amazing at decorating. We had a groom one time, he was just like an absolute wonder with flowers, and he just did all the flowers for their wedding, and it was phenomenal. And so some people really have a passion and a talent, and if you want to throw yourself into that and you can save on that, great. But I think it's definitely worth the money to pay a professional, pay a vendor who knows what they're doing, who has, you know, a long history of delivering a professional level of quality. You can check out reviews, do all that stuff, talk to friends, talk to family, you know, talk to other vendors that you're working with. They're going to work with vendors in the field and you know, see if you can trust their opinion. But ultimately, you know, interview those people, ask them all your questions, and trust your gut. Are you getting a good response? Do you feel like they're being honest? Do you feel like they're being straightforward? Do you feel like you have a connection? Is it a good fit? These are people that are going to be with you and support you on one of the most stressful days of your life. Mm-hmm. And if it's awkward talking to them, and if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like they're listening to you before you give them your money, what's going to happen after you give them the money and you're super stressed and all these things have gone wrong, these surprises that happen? What are you going to do?
So yeah, trust your gut early on.
Yeah.
If you have a bad feeling about somebody, don't go with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big one. Remind me again the question. I think I got off topic there.
No, you were good. I was just saying, like, what's something that a couple could do to go into their wedding day as stress-free as possible?
Yeah. I think have a plan. Be willing to be flexible with the plan a little bit, but have a plan and have a vision of what you want. And don't be shy about telling your vendors what that vision is.
Right.
You know, this bride is a great example because she said, music is the most important thing to me. And I got to tell you, she told me that maybe 8 or 9 times. And so I listened. She's like, I just want what I want. Here's the music. If you play this music, I'll be happy. So I'm like, let's do exactly what she wants. No surprises. She told me kind of stuff to avoid. We had like 2 requests, but I got them approved, you know, because before she was like, don't take requests. But then I went to her. I was like, can we play these? She said yes. So, and those songs worked out great too. but yeah, it's have a vendor who really does listen to what your vision is, what you want, and that will deliver it. Because that's the way you're going to be happy. That
Absolutely
gives you what you want. It's a big day. Let it go your way, you know?
And I think we're almost like kind of detectives. Like we only work with the information that's given to us. We don't know you as a couple. We don't know who you are. We don't know you personally. We don't know what you like, what you don't like. I've had couples that, you know, oh, are you okay if we have this song? Of course. Like it's your wedding day. You can do whatever you want. I feel like that some people need that approval, you know, but it's like, I only know so much about you. The more information you give me, the more I have to work with for your wedding day. You know, sometimes on the dance floor, I'll have someone come up to me and you know, obviously you've had the person who's like, oh, the bride and groom love this song. Like like they don't even know that song at all. But I legitimately had people come up and they're like, oh, this is like their favorite song that they had together, like in high school. And it is, but they never told me that. And then I play that and it like changes the entire night. Yes. And if I hadn't have done that, you know, I never knew. So it's just, the more information you can give us, the more that we have to work with.
And maybe you'll have this too. I find when I meet with couples, a majority, like a large majority, are so exceedingly nice and so exceedingly excited that they're like, whatever you think, whatever you want. And I go, well,
you're the professional.
Yeah. I was like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That shows a lot of trust in your vendor. You should trust your vendors, assuming, you know, they're professional. But I'm like, what do you want? This is your day. What do you want to feel? What do you want to hear? What don't you want to hear?
Right.
And so I try to ask a lot of questions. I try to find, you know, ways to have fun memories. You know, there's songs that when you were kids, there's songs that when you were in college, what was your going out song? Is there a song that's going to get your uncle out there, you know, going crazy?
Yeah.
And so I ask it that way. And then I'm like, ask your friends and family. Are there songs that are really meaningful to them that are going to get them going or that are going to get them singing or dancing or what is that? Because you're right, sometimes they're not always, it's one of those things, if you think about it, it takes a little minute or you don't remember, but then it clicks that hopefully the night of.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is I tell people, we go through the plan when we meet with the couple, the whole night, all the details, all the questions, but then I encourage them too, right at the beginning and right throughout the process, that we're going to be flexible, because that's what I've learned is the key factor in having a successful, at least dance floor and a nice wedding, is have a plan, do your best to stick to it, but be flexible to allow the fun to happen, allow the magic to happen. If a couple wants to cut something, we cut it. If they want us to add something, we add it. Because I think that's pretty important. Like, you can change your mind. And if you're not feeling it, why do it?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of leading into kind of the next question, unless you had more on that you thought.
I was just going to throw the reverse at you, which was, what can you do or can the couple do to make your day less stressful going into wedding day? Ooh. Working it.
Whoa. Man, that's good.
Sorry, I wrote down both. That was just
no, I like that. What can to make their wedding vendors?
I don't even say just you, but I guess
I can speak for DJs. Any wedding vendor. I mean, I like to have a clear plan of what you expect, of the time frame of everything, of the music, of people's names, of when we're doing this stuff. But I also want to know, who are the important people in your life? What is important to you? Some people talk about, like, I'm not a big dancer. I really don't want to dance. I don't want to be put on the spot. That's important to me, that I don't feel embarrassed or be put on the spot at my wedding. That's really important for me to know.
Absolutely.
I really don't want anyone to ever feel put on the spot. But I do want to honor and celebrate, and hey, this is the reason we're here today. You know? So that kind of thing. I think just being candid, being honest about what you really want, and having kind of a clear. I enjoy working with couples that have a very clear plan.
Yeah.
That really know what they want. Makes it easy for me to excel and give them what they want. Sometimes couples are not sure what they want, or they don't. Some honestly don't really care. They're just like, we just want to party. Just like, do your thing. That's cool too. I find that's harder because then I'm more of a mind reader. I got to kind of feel out the crowd, feel out, what's going on.
I feel like you're just describing relationships right now, pretty much.
Right.
It's just like, I just need to know what your plan is. I need to know, do you want to be with me? Do you not? Like, it's pretty much the same thing.
Is this real, what we're doing right now?
I mean, like a relationship, I mean, it's your wedding day. It's a very important day, and the details matter, and some kind of plan matters. Obviously, I think, a mix of both is perfect. Someone who has a clear plan, but also just like wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
It's just like, going with the flow, free to be flexible.
Yeah. I try to connect too. I always appreciate when people try to connect with me. When they see me as a person, not as like a position. You're the DJ, you're the help.
Right.
I like when couples are like, tell us about yourself. What do you like? What do you, I enjoy connecting and developing a good relationship with the couple. That makes it easier to know what they want day of. And honestly, sometimes it puts the pressure on because I want to deliver. The couples I really like.
You like them, and
yes,
you're like, I want to do a really good job for you guys.
Because I have a strong connection,
Yeah.
I try to have connections with all my couples, but, some people you vibe
The
with.
emotions are there then.
Yes,
Yeah.
some people you don't vibe with. But it makes it way less work, less of a job, and more of a passion. And when we've talked about this, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of laughter, and I know exactly what they're looking for, and I can nail it.
Absolutely.
You talked about that, like I was going to ask traditions, do's and don'ts. Which ones that have you seen that you're not a fan of, or that you think this is kind of, there was a reason maybe in the past this existed, but
Yeah. No, and I would say,
or what are some new popular trends too? Would be another.
Oh yeah, and I am not alone in saying this. Garter,
Yeah.
but also kind of bouquet, but definitely garter is dying out. Like grandma does not want to see someone going up someone else's dress, and it's always like the most provocative, like sensual kind of, like, it's not like just like, oh, I'm gonna take, like, there's like a process to it, and everyone's uncomfortable, and I think that's kind of the part of it, is it's like this. The thing that I never really like is like cringe comedy, like like it just makes me feel just so like cringy. But I think that's kind of the funny part of it for a lot of people. But I would say, I mean, last year I did it maybe 2 or 3 times out of like the 40 to 50 weddings I worked. And it's just less and less every year.
The trend
bouquet is kind of 50-50. Because I think that one's pretty innocent and pretty sweet. But I mean, a lot of the younger couples, especially couples closer to my age, a lot of those things they're like really getting rid of. Some people are not even doing parent dances anymore. They're like, we just want our first dance. And honestly, I guess the thing that you really free up then is taking away all these like scheduled event things. You have a lot more time to socialize with your guests. Because I mean, I knew that there's not a lot of time and the day goes fast, but getting married last year, I was like, oh man, okay, so ceremony, then we have to take pictures for an hour. And it's like, I don't think I even ate my entire dinner. Like, you only have so much time. So, but yeah, that would say, sorry, I'm getting off topic now, but yeah, those are the 2 things that I see dying out of bouquet and garter.
Yeah, big time. And I think everything else is kind of being augmented too. Like you're saying with parent dances, I do see people cutting those, but I also see them like fading out early. Like, let's not do the full song. Like, we have a nice moment, but I always say, I love my mom, but I don't want to dance with her for 9 minutes alone.
Absolutely.
Like,
being out there by yourself
2 minutes or less is plenty.
Or like 5 minutes. 5 minutes doesn't sound long.
It's a lot.
But when you're by yourself
and you're dancing with your
really
mom
long.
and everyone's watching, it's a lot. So I like stuff like that. That's, you have a nice moment, a nice photo, a nice memory, but it doesn't have to be, 7.5 or whatever minutes long. On that note, like, you just got married, and of course, I got married coming up on 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a minute. What are some lessons? You just came off getting married last October. Lessons you've learned from your own wedding. Things that other couples planning their weddings, or other vendors might find interesting or fun.
I would say, people are going to leave at different times of the night. You only have so much time to talk to everybody. I felt like I needed to talk to every person there, because there's a lot of people there that I haven't seen quite a while. Also, people that I never even met before were at my wedding, so that was kind of cool as well. But I also had that feeling of like, I want to stick to my friend group in the corner. So it's just like, don't be afraid to be a little extra social. Obviously, do whatever you can to have the best day and just enjoy it. Because that's all what it's supposed to be. You're just throwing a party for your loved ones. So just focus on the love. I don't want to sound too cliche, but really, like, just focus on like what makes you happy that day. But really, yeah, I would say I really tried. I feel like I still didn't get the chance to talk to everybody, but just try and talk to as many people as you can. And going back on what we were saying earlier, and something that I did good at, because I knew going into it, but just really trust your vendors. I wasn't thinking about my DJ, my photographer, like anything at all the entire day. And also the day of, even if you were, I'm worried about that, you're not going to be thinking about that at all. Yeah. You only have so much room in your brain to focus on what's happening, and the emotions hit you so hard that it's like all logic goes out the window.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
you're not yourself. You're the more stressed version of yourself,
right?
You know, and joy, happy version too. You know.
But yeah, and then I would say, if you can, and this is something that we were originally not going to do, but personal vows. I thought that was great, and I'm really happy we did it. And it didn't have to be long. Mine were like 20 seconds long. Sarah's were around the same length, but it was great, and I'm so happy I did it. And then the other thing, and I think I mentioned this last week that I'll end on, is if you have a loved one that is on the edge of like, I don't want to give a speech, whatever. My dad was like, I asked him initially, hey, do you want to give a speech? No. Okay, not a big deal. I just wanted you to know that you had the option. 2 days before the wedding, he was like, hey, and they like pulled out his notepad on his phone, and he had a whole written thing. Hey, can I give a speech? Well, yeah, I can't say no, obviously, yeah. And I am so happy he did. And that was like one of the biggest moments of my wedding day for me was him speaking at my wedding. So if you have anybody that's like on the edge there, push him a little bit.
Give him a little push.
Because you don't know what matters until it's over. I think I could say that about life, but definitely your wedding day too.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, that was a lot of things.
No, I love that. That's great. Mine kind of echoes that thing too. The first and foremost is I was like, oh, I'm a DJ. I'll save money and I'll DJ my own wedding. Huge mistake. Don't do it. My wife is still upset with me, rightfully so, because I had to work at my own wedding, or I had to have a friend take over. Don't do it. Don't hire somebody. Hire somebody so you can be stress free. Somebody you trust. Somebody to do a good job. But do that. This is one you did. Have a friend or loved one marry you. Somebody who knows you. Somebody who trusts you. Somebody who you'll have that memory and that joy together of being bonded to your spouse in marriage. That my dad married me. Sarah's dad married you guys. That's cool. That's really awesome. Cool. It's very personable. It's not some priest or pastor that you barely knew. But have somebody who's a friend, family member, somebody who knows you. Ideally, know both of you.
Definitely prefer that to a stranger.
Yeah. Write your own vows. It's a big thing. I'll add videography. Have somebody record it, even if you can't afford a videographer. Have somebody record something. Ceremony,
just like
speeches.
A small camera and a tripod. Yeah, something.
My dad passed in 2016. We got married in 2012, and that video of him doing the ceremony is one of the only videos I have of him. So I played portion of it at his memorial, and it was powerful because it's just him up there being himself, super excited. His son's getting married, and I have that forever. And I didn't think when I was recording it then that would be the thing that I would remember the most about the wedding, and it is. That we have a short time, and so weddings are when all the loved ones are there. Have people pay them to record it, to take pictures.
Right.
It may be all you have. I have a picture of him and my mom dancing, and they're smiling. It's like I have a secret surprise. I'm going to get that printed and framed for my mom. But anyways, it's pretty cool, a pretty cool thing. And I think the rest of the stuff I would be. In terms of money stuff, we interviewed a lot of places, interviewed a lot of vendors. We found a venue that made sense for our budget, that made sense with our goals. We wanted to have a dance floor. We wanted people to dance and have fun. And so we had a good layout for dancing, where it was the dance floor was centric as part of the action. You could get away from the noise if you wanted to. Ceremony on site. That's the other. It's just from the ceremony into cocktail into dinner dancing.
No big travel.
No big travel. Yeah. Guests it's one event. Those are the big takeaways, lessons I learned from me, and that you can do it on a budget. You list your priorities, figure out what's important to you.
Yeah.
Anything that you would skip on, that you would save money on, or anything that you thought was definitely worth the value, paying the extra money for.
It's kind of a mix because after going through it, I was really happy with it, but having like a big venue where you have staff that is handling food, waiting on you. Having having a venue where like staff is taking care of you, food's coming, you have a coordinator, that does really help. I think that I kind of have a slight biased opinion because I knew what I was getting into, that like I feel like I would have been fine if I didn't have a coordinator. You know what I mean? Just because I knew what to expect.
Yeah.
So I didn't really feel too stressed about a lot of the decision making and whatnot. But like I was originally planning on, like kind of smaller wedding. And it's such a mixed feeling because I'm so happy the amount of people that I got to be there. So that's, I don't know, maybe venue, but it's kind of, I can't even say it's 50-50. Like there's so many good things about the day, and I'm really happy with how everything went, and I don't want to change anything.
Sure.
But
that's a good sign.
Yeah, no, there's really nothing that I spent money on that I feel like I shouldn't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is anything that you wish you would have spent money on or spent more money on?
And it's saying what you said, but having at least some sort of video, I think. And I think the big thing was like my speeches. I remember my speeches really well, but I don't remember word for word what they had. To the point of like, I kind of want to ask you, like my dad, if you guys have it written down, just to like send it to me, just so I can like read through again, like one day if I wanted to. But sure. I would say, I mean, definitely happy I had a photographer to record the entire day in that kind of way. But yeah, like I think doing some sort of video aspect, I would have paid money for.
Yeah. Looking
back at it now.
For us, we did cash bar to save money. I would have done open bar.
Right.
I had friends to this day give me crap about it.
That is a huge cost, though.
Yeah.
That is a big cost.
Oh, of course,
sure.
of course.
Yeah.
So you got to do what's going to be best for your budget and stuff.
Absolutely.
I think, what was cool about the one on Fridays, they had that taco truck. And that was incredible. They had like street corn, they had tacos, they had burritos.
Yeah.
I got a Juaritos. It was awesome. That was really fun, kind of late night snack thing. I would do like multiple things. Like I would do we did the rehearsal dinner, of course, but I would do like you did the morning of, you and your groomsmen were like, let's go play a round of Frisbee golf.
Yeah.
Or disc golf, That was cool. It's a cool way to kind of unwind and relax and spend time, quality time outside with your friends right before your wedding.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Making memories with people that are important, I would have done that. I would have done like a brunch the next day with everybody. Things I didn't do that I wish I more quality time, more times to connect and talk to people.
Right.
I should have hired a coordinator. Should have planned out the timeline more, spent more time on that. It was kind of a little bit, we had a rough kind of thing and we winged it mostly. I think it would have gotten a lot more smoothly and a little bit less stressful.
Right.
We also had a venue that wasn't, some venues, part of why you hire them is they have an in-house team that will do all that for you.
Yes.
It's worth every penny because they know how to run stuff. They know how to get the food out, how to get people seated. If you need tape or something, they're going to make it happen.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of venues worth every penny to do that. We didn't have a venue like that. It was more like you kind of rent the space and then here's the food. They did prepare the food, which was awesome. Trying to think. Yeah.
And I think outside of all these things, like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, at the end of the day, you're getting married.
Yes.
You're going to get married.
Yes.
So whatever happens, like you're going to get through it. You're going to be married at the end of the day. That was like, I think my wife and I's like slow, like the past like 2 weeks before the wedding day. And we were like, should we just elope? Like all the stress just finally kind of piled on right before like, you would just like courthouse it, like Jim and Pam, like Niagara Falls, just like do it secretly real quick. Like, we could, but no, I had such a great day, and you don't need to worry as much as you think you do, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And anything like that to kind of take the pressure off and, spend to save.
I think I had one other thing, but I think it's going to be too long to get into.
Just to save. I'd wish I'd spent more, on like the entertainment portion. Personally, I'm never a dessert guy, and I know like people out there like you need awesome desserts.
Right.
Like that's just not me. But if that's important to you, you should do it. I'm also not a big decorations guy. I would have done really more minimal, but my wife, she loves decoration. She spent a lot of time. She made her own. She purchased a lot of stuff. And lots of people came up to me and talked about how beautiful the decorations were. And in the photos, they looked really nice. So I'm appreciative of that, but that's something that I would have personally saved on.
Right.
But something I didn't notice, but I'm a guy, you know, it's...
I was the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, we're getting decorations?
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine.
I just, you know, you want your wife to be happy. And,
yeah.
I just wanted to, like, you know, have a good time with the guys and the girls and everybody. You know. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. I had a couple other things, but I think
I had some else too, but it's going to turn into a long conversation. Just it was kind of like my question last week. I feel like it could be be a long topic, so I don't want to push too hard. But,
well, I had keys to a great party. You know, 5 things that you think as a DJ that the best parties have in common. We do this as part of our sales process. Is when people just if they reach out to us, we give them like a 10. You know, it's a free thing. It's like, but it's basically here's the top 10 things that will help you have a great dance party.
Yeah.
And so some of those we could share, but you know, if you reach out, we'll give it to you for free. But you know, I don't know anything that comes to your mind.
Just put planning into your music in every aspect. Make it your own. You don't want to skim by. I mean, if you have the most professional DJ that really knows what they're doing and you give that person 10 songs, they're probably going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Like I have couples that have done that a lot with me. And I know I can figure out how their guests are responding. But if you know what you like and you know what your guests like, put it out there. The more information you can put in for your dance floor and the music that you want, the more we have to work with, the better the night's going to go.
Yeah.
That's one I can think of. I think this is a big one, and I've been to a lot of venues where it can be a little tricky, but I always try and say something myself, and I'm surprised I'm the first person saying it, but do not keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Do not keep the lights on the dance floor. When you have bright lights on that dance floor, everyone feels like they have a spotlight on them. This is not a portion of the night where people don't really want to be seen. You're out there, you're dancing. Yeah, you're like being social, but you're still like, there's kind of a bit of a privacy there because of the lighting situation. And it's a totally different vibe, completely different vibe. When you have someone that actually can bring the lights down, it just feels a lot more intimate, a lot more relaxed. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more stressed out. I feel like I'm being watched, that kind of thing. I want to feel like comfortable and not like exposed. So yeah. But I, usually I always ask the band like, hey, can you please bring the lights down? And then immediately I'll get like 20 more people, boom, like around the dance floor. It's crazy, but it works.
It really does. I would say, and this isn't always true, but a lot of times guests kind of take their lead from the couple. The couple's on the dance floor, they're going to be on the dance floor. If the couple's outside playing bags, they're going to be outside playing bags or whatever it is you got at the wedding.
Yeah.
So, if it's important to you to dance, then dance. But if it's important to you to talk to guests, talk to guests. It's your wedding. I'm going to be there. We're going to perform. People are going to dance. But I find the thing that if you want a packed dance floor all night, you got to be out there too as the couple.
Everyone's there only for one reason, to see those two people.
That's
They're going to be near those two people.
Yes, and they want you singing and dancing and hugging and doing whatever because they want to. They feel like that's part of the celebration.
Yeah. And I agree. Anytime I've had bride and groom that are out there and like partying with their guests, best dance floor.
It's the best dance floor. It always has that in common. Mm-hmm. I think we've had great weddings that had very little dancing. Still a great wedding, but if dancing is important to you, that's the key.
Absolutely.
That's one of the keys. Layout is important. Where you put the speakers, where you put the DJ, where the dance floor is in relation to where the guests will be is incredibly important.
Yeah. You don't want speakers, grandma's table.
Yep. Yes.
Dance floor.
That's right. Yeah. Put us, if you're going to have speakers next to a table, you have no choice. Make sure you can put somebody who can handle the loudness of the music.
Yeah.
I've literally had people come up and unplug my speaker, turn it down. This is a guest. It's not anybody really important, but they're upset that they're next to a speaker. And I'm just like, I understand, but people in the back have to hear the speeches, have to hear the music, have to hear the intros. Mm-hmm. I'm really sorry. Can you move your seat? Can you temporarily move? I will try to keep this as quiet as I possibly can, but, you're sitting right in front of a speaker and everyone else behind you has to hear the music,
is kind of funny. I've had guests that will stand right in front of my speaker, and like they could be standing anywhere else, and then I have to make an announcement, and I scare the crap out of them, like really bad. And they like look at me like I just like shot them or something. I'm like, well, you are standing right in front of a speaker. Like it will make noise. Like that is what it's here for. That's
what we're being paid to do.
And sometimes just because I don't notice, but usually I'm like, hey, and I've had people that are like, yeah, and I do it anyway. Like whatever. That's pretty funny, but
yeah, I think couples that give us 10, 20 songs that just like we love this, or we want to avoid this.
Yeah,
that really helps to help us to craft the night. I always said if a couple gives me 900 songs, just stick to that list. I'll do it. The crowd may or may not respond, but if you give me 900 songs, I can usually find something in that list to do. I'm trying to think. I can't.
No, I feel like a lot of things we talked about earlier about just like trusting your vendors, like that kind of hits on the same thing. Just like
the keys to a successful.
Party. Yeah.
I have a whole list somewhere, but I kind of blanking.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we made some good points.
Yeah, sure. I think we probably got it here. Is there anything else?
No, like I said, it would be like a long conversation if we got into it.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess that's we're going to wrap for this week, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good week.
Yes.